it looks like the average person needs at least about 30 minutes to an hour each day of bright light exposure outside, not from behind these windows or what have you, but outside to create sufficient melatonin in the night. So, what does that mean? It means that most of us are probably not getting that, or we might think that windows are not obstructing us in the same way. Now, windows are definitely going to be better than being in a dark room for sure, but you can have a huge shift in the impact, the amount of lux that you're exposed to, and the wavelengths of light that you're exposed to by simply just walking yourself outside or opening those windows, or if you're in a car, rolling down those windows so that you get unadulterated, unobstructed light. Remove your sunglasses, remove all the things that could be obstructing the ability to get that light into your eyes and on your skin. And that's going to help support us not only with resetting our master clock, but also with that melatonin production at night. On the flip side, there was a scientific consensus that came out last year that reported that the average person was in an environment, a light environment, that by day was on average about 100 times too dim as compared to how it would be if we were outside like our ancestors. And then in the night, on average, about 100 times too bright as compared to even the brightest moonlit of evenings that we might have been exposed to in nature. So what does that mean? That means that just about every single person that lives indoors and is under electric light at night, you are dealing with circadian disruption. Period. That is just what you're dealing with. So how do we interrupt that? Then we gotta, one, get ourselves outside. Two, we need to be informed of where you live on the planet, having an impact. So the latitude that you're at will impact the strength of that sun, what season you're in. I grew up in Maine and lived in New York. In those northern latitude locations, throughout a lot of the winter months, you are getting just a much weaker sun exposure opportunity because it's stretching across the horizon so much. And you're also going to be struggling to make sufficient vitamin D, which is crucial to this conversation of creating sufficient melatonin at night, vitamin D to serotonin to melatonin. So in the evenings, then what do we need to do? If we're exposed to all that bright light at night, we must start shifting out our typical light bulbs for more fiery hues, which is what we develop and evolved under, which would be our first real biohack, which was fire. So orange and red infrared lights, those are all options for us that are not going to impact our melatonin as much as these bright blue lights are doing. And it's not just the screen. So it is this, the screens are, we want to look at that, but it's also all of the lights in your environment, all of these just basic 60-watt light bulbs or what have you, and the lights coming from your TVs and all these things, these are going to impact your ability to create melatonin. There was one study that found even 30 minutes in ordinary room lighting depleted or impeded the ability to produce melatonin by almost nearly 90%. How many of us are hanging out in ordinary room lighting at night? These are some of the impacts that our modern society and things that we don't quite realize, the blind spots that are impacting our sleep results measurably. That's just the light dark.